they're very reputable. So these are a bit skewed because there are hijackers, if you're not aware what that is. So they're fake accounts made by typically people in the Asian area where factories are, and they're selling counterfeit products, and it's a very profitable, shady business, but it works. So let's say it's more like 75% of Amazon sellers that actually took action aren't selling 1 year later. Okay, so that means that 25% are, and 25% of 30 is 7.5, I believe. Yep. So 7.5% of people that make an Amazon seller account are still selling 1 year later, and that's pretty good. So if you guys just go ahead and I want to tell you, so of these people that make an account, take action, and fail, why did they fail? Let's get on to that. Well, the biggest reason that I see, hands down, they're copycats. They didn't do anything new. They just saw this is working for that guy. Like, let's say the silicone wedding ring example earlier. If they look at that, they say, look at all this money they're making. I'm just going to do that. Cool. What color is he selling? Purple or black? Black? Okay. Let's get a black silicone wedding ring. Let's sell it $1 cheaper than him. Throw it up there. Let's just copy his title and his description. Okay, we need to get some pictures. Let's do Fiverr, pay $30 or whatnot. Buy a couple, buy 500 to 1,000, and they throw it up there and nobody buys it. And they think it's a scam, that this business model doesn't work. Well, there's actually a lot of technicals that go behind. In this video, we're going to talk about why you will fail. Well, you're not going to fail, but why do people in general statistically fail? So I'm going to tell you all the roadblocks that stop most sellers, and then how you guys can get past it. So let's get on to that. And I want to start it out with a story. So this really hits home to me in a lot of areas of my life. Now, this is the story about a bamboo tree. It's a Chinese bamboo tree. It stays as a seed for 5 years. And that whole time it's just underneath the ground, not doing much, but it's growing roots and all sorts of other stuff, building its foundation for growth. And then after 5 years, if it's taken care of that whole time and everything is right, it grows 90 feet in 6 weeks. Just exponential growth. And that's exactly what happened to me. So the question is, how long did it take for that tree to grow 90 feet? It took 5 years and 6 weeks. Every single bit of that process is what was required for that tree to grow, okay? And if it didn't, if you don't take care of that tree for those 5 years and take care of it well, it's not going to grow, okay? It does not work. So treat and just have that image in your head that this Amazon business, or just any business in e-commerce, it is not an overnight success. It is not linear, okay? It is not you make $10 tomorrow and then 20, okay? It may suck for a while. You may go negative. You may never make it. But you know how you would never make it? If you give up. I don't know of anybody who is like on product number 18 and is just like, God, I can't do it, guys. I keep failing. from what I've heard, I've actually had the most amount of failures of anybody that was a successful seller. From what I heard, so I failed my first 7 products, and the product number 8, $6 million in 6 months. So guys, it is so true. The bamboo tree does it. Happened to me. Come through it, and let me just tell you the numbers now, so you can know which stages of growth that you're going to get stuck up at. So 70% of people never make it past product research. And what do I mean by that? They never buy a product. They never even take the shot to be successful. I don't know if it's because they think it's not the opportunity for them. Respect. They realize this, they don't have what it takes. Respect, or the money that it takes, because it does take money. I'll teach you guys other ways to get money to do this. Okay, so think of this analogy, the last analogy. 70% of people never bought a product. What does that mean? They never even stood up to the plate. All right? How are you going to hit the ball out of the park if you never even swing? You're never even getting the ball thrown at you. So that's what happens to most people. They get stuck in analysis paralysis or telling themselves a story of why they can't do it. And if you guys get over that hump, you are now into the small 30% of people that actually took action. Now, what happens once you're in that 30%? Once you're in that smaller percent of people that actually did something, there is a large subset, so only 90%, only 10% of those people that took action are still selling after 1 year. And this is a statistic from Marketplace Pulse, I believe, and they're very reputable. So these are a bit skewed because there are hijackers, if you're not aware what that is. So they're fake accounts made by typically people in the Asian area where factories are, and they're selling counterfeit products, and it's a very profitable, shady business, but it works. So let's say it's more like 75% of Amazon sellers that actually took action aren't selling 1 year later. Okay, so that means that 25% are, and 25% of 30 is 7.5, I believe. Yep. So 7.5% of people that make an Amazon seller account are still selling 1 year later, and that's pretty good. So if you guys just go ahead, and I want to tell you, so of these people that make an account, take action, and fail, why did they fail? Let's get on to that. Well, the biggest reason that I see, hands down, they're copycats. They didn't do anything new. They just saw this is working for that guy. Like, let's say the silicone wedding ring example earlier. If they look at that, they say, look at all this money they're making. I'm just going to do that. Cool. What color is he selling? Purple or black? Black? Okay. Let's get a black silicone wedding ring. Let's sell it $1 cheaper than him. Throw it up there. Let's just copy his title and his description. Okay, we need to get some pictures. Let's do Fiverr, pay $30 or whatnot. Buy a couple, buy 500 to 1,000, and they throw it up there and nobody buys it. They think it's a scam, that this business model doesn't work. Well, there's actually a lot of technicals that go behind it. So what basically this leads into one of the other issues, that people don't do their research hard enough, and so they aren't well educated, so they didn't take my course. Because if you take the whole course and you go through it all, guys, you will see what makes a successful product and not, and where can you compete. The other 2 points, not investing in good photos and not making a great listing, and not knowing what keywords to target. So going back to that silicone wedding guy, if he just threw up a listing there, he doesn't know what. So 50% of all Amazon or all searches on the internet start on the Amazon search bar at the top of Amazon. And what do people do? They type in a word, and then that brings up products, and they click on one of those products, and they either buy it or they don't. That's the way Amazon works. All right, simple as that, and that's pretty much how the whole thing works. So you need to know which words to rank for, and how to rank on those words. And each word is a different difficulty. So in this course, I teach you guys how to do that. But where most people fail, they're not knowing how to even be indexed, so even to have the chance to bat for those keywords, and then they don't know how to rank and get on page 1. They're on page 100, page 82 for this keyword. Nobody's going to page 82. 70% of sales, I believe, are on the first page. So or they don't put time into their photos or their listing. On the internet, the only thing you got is your listing. They can't touch, feel, taste your product. None of that. It's all just those photos and those descriptions and reviews. So You got to put all your effort and time into those when you're getting started out and hustling. So if you do all of those though, I really don't know anybody who's done all of these and so who's made a unique product or a good bundle or found some way to add value to the marketplace and differentiate and, found somewhere where it wasn't too competitive, where they had all the resources necessary to compete with good photos and had a really amazing listing and then knew which keywords to target and started to rank and do ads for those. I don't know or hear of anybody really failing at that. Maybe on one product because they didn't anticipate some changes, but you just go look at the Facebook groups. It's just not that often. So, and then you never hear really stories of people like, oh, I did it 4 times in a row. I failed 7 in a row, guys. So I'm just teaching all the lessons that I've learned. I have a YouTube video. I'll put that down in here. But that tells all the lessons that I learned from failing my first 7 products. And so I hope you guys learn lessons from that. Now, just about the story of my failure. So I did fail those 7. And the 8th one was $6 million. That completely changed my life. I can't imagine what my life would have been like if, some random Chinese supplier sent me a 1-word email telling me about the solar eclipse, and then he never responded to me when I said, sure, I'm interested. So thank you, random supplier from China. You changed my life. And just not giving up. So, I also proposed to my wife in outer space, and I failed countless times on that. As I was 3D printing this contraption and whatnot, I failed over 36 times in a row. And you know what I did? I started a giant log, a big notebook of everything that I thought that could be failing and what I could do to fix it. And then getting feedback from other people, posting in forums. Eventually you figure out the formula to success or anything. So you guys just don't give up, and you can just do it. So I just want to tell the truth here. The people who fail at e-commerce, starting their own business, I see some commonalities. They just don't want it. They're on the edge. I don't know if it's for me. I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if it's it's probably doesn't work. There's room. There's 560 million products on Amazon. And guys, there's just the U.S. right now. There's way more than the U.S. There's so many marketplaces. It's dominant in the U.S., but it's going to be dominant worldwide, or some type of e-commerce fulfillment will. This is the biggest revolution ever. There's no barriers to entry. There's no nothing. You can take part in this, at least for the next 5 years. I see nothing stopping this, and there will just be endless opportunities. We were in Bali, and you couldn't even buy really anything on the internet. You had to pay cash on delivery to some delivery driver. It took 5 days. This will all get solved in every country, and you could be offering the best product for every region. Even if you don't think you could somehow compete in the U.S., there's still there's 180 something other countries in the world. It'll happen. So there's still tons of room on the U.S. 560 million products. Why can't you find 1 or 2 where you could just make the best offering? Okay, find a hole where it's not too competitive. You have enough money to get in there and just serve even just a tiny part of the niche, okay? And you are the best option for them. And then you start to just becoming the best option for more people. And you find out what keywords they're searching, and you get on that page. And when they see it, they're going to buy if you did your work good. So just keep putting in that work and don't give up. And think logically and go through this whole course and take action, you guys. It's possible, and I'm seeing it every day. The biggest reason why people they just give up and they let other things take over. So take some action.